An AC probably makes the floor easier. I know, right? Probably going to be a potion. Oh, we had curing the whole time. I feel okay about meleeing this guy now for one hit. Do I dare click this? Okay, well, we cleared the two-headed ogre off the table. Which is pretty good stuff. I could go ahead and pick up these gloves. Any amount more AC would be handy, considering how ugly that ugly floor on layer is, layer 2. We do want to pick up the war axe just in case. If I were to read ID brand weapon or something, I'd rather do it to a war axe if possible. Grinder's on D5. Can I go kill Grinder now? Perhaps with this scimitar of RN+. Yeah, you can't damage me now. I mean, you can, but not much. We just boulder over, which we should have done earlier, really. He's very obnoxious if you don't have RN. But otherwise, not that big of a deal, even with the para. Nothing else was really on this floor. Okay. I don't want to fight Crazy Youth, could still die there. Yeah, we did get Telescroll. That's helpful, considering that I've been so unbelievably reckless with using those. It's good that we picked that up. I certainly don't want to be in dungeon right now, I have to say. Axe is 4. Emo could do work on that floor for sure. It's unfortunate that we don't really have any good wands for doing damage at range, because the crossbow's cool, but it's a bit unreliable. Ice Blast we can almost guaranteed trigger a chain reaction with Emulate and make it really, really good. Probably start using the hand axe. We can attack almost speed 1 with that. And we've committed to axes, so that's okay. We also have 3 enchant weapons, which I will start using on the war axe once we get to a reasonable amount of skill. Let's go to D9. I'm going to finish this floor. Oh, crap. Okay, I guess nothing wanted to come for me. Hand axe of electrocution. It's kind of cool, actually. It's better than the whip. And, in fact, we could enchant that up and possibly make use of it. I think the ugly thing's the only dangerous thing left on this floor. I still think we get schooled by that in melee, just less so with the big AC boost. There he is. We want him to be a white ugly thing because that means cold damage, which we are resistant to. So we don't want to polymorph him to change the color. Worst case scenario, we can read Fear. I think we might be able to melee him. As sick as possible. 1, 2, 3. One more attack. As sick as possible. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Based. Good stuff. And that's a barding. Hello. Wait, no, it's not. Ah! That's hilarious. I thought this was a barding. It's tremor stones. Either I'm blind or that tile is bad. It kind of looks like the barding tile. Let's see. Wow, it looks nothing like the barding tile. Was there an old barding tile that kind of looked red? Or am I just like having an aneurysm? I guess it's possible. Barding looks like a shot glass based. Alright. So the question is, do I want to try to do D10? Typically, I will never ever try to do more dungeon before I can finish lair. But this is kind of a weird day because enchanted bardings were red. Ah, okay. Yep, that's what it was. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, I guess they probably still are. We have this artifact ring. That could be cool, but I'm too fearful to wear it without remove curse. Maybe they lowered the amount of remove curse that you get. Anyway, yeah, normally I will try to do lair before any amount of more dungeon. But unfortunately, what's the worst thing that could happen? No, lots of bad things could happen. Yeah, we're not doing that. Could be cursed with Star Tally or something. I think that still exists. But yeah, I think because that floor is so nasty, we will do one more. It's true. It's true, Rogue Shenanigans, although they could just change how Ashen Zari works. Yeah, you still need scrolls, apparently. Maybe I'm thinking of a fork that changed that. But they oftentimes make totally whack-ass, just completely wacky changes to the game without really thinking about how it's going to affect things. The food thing, for instance, comes to mind. Well, we can melee trolls and just brutally crush them. That's kind of cool. We're getting there. This character is getting there. It's chainmail of fire resist. If we didn't have +7 Kriya's mail coat, I might consider that. Artifact short sword. The change they made to how gifting piety works that makes getting champion of Sif a massive pain in the ass. They didn't exactly... They changed that specifically for Sif Muna is the thing. And then Gamma Funk tried to save face by saying, oh, it's no big deal. Most people don't really even want to... You know, there's no reason to even get to the max level of piety. Meanwhile, that was actually worth points in the last tournament. Or not the last tournament, but the old style of tournaments. So I found that really funny, because it's like you specifically had to get to that point if you wanted to get full god points. So you essentially had to get every single spell in the game before Sif Muna's piety could stop getting sort of juked downwards. Oh, is it worth points in CSDC too? That's comical. Yeah, it's not a big deal, bro. This bad design is no big deal. We just tore through D10. Like, outrageous, man. Improves my skill title? It does. If you have the Invocations title, which is always usually the most fun one to have. Less exclusive these days now that Gnolls just kind of are guaranteed to get it. I remember back in the day it was almost impossible to, well, it wasn't almost impossible, but it was very challenging to, or at least time-consuming to get, like, the Gozag title, for example, because you're not supposed to be able to train Invocations while worshipping Gozag, among other gods. Alrighty, that's the whole floor. How many scrolls are available here that we haven't identified yet? We have 2 out of all those. Wonder if there's a chance one of those is brand weapon. I would actually kind of like to brand the broadaxe now. Man, do I really want to go down another dungeon floor? It's getting really spooky. By the way, I don't trust these tremor stones to really do anything for me. That's why I'm not bothering to train evokes. Okay, good. No telly. I'm the king of shouting at staircases. It's a lot of damage possible there, but that's okay. We just had to survive a couple turns in that. Pull them into a hallway and then proceed to own them. We're already attacking above faster than speed 1, so we're getting there. Yeah, God Switch is usually very, very dangerous. Shit. We've been marked. That's right. Hallway yaks, they're the best kind of yak. That was just an explore trap. You can thank Ebering for those. Really great design. And by great design, I mean bad design. Not very interactive at all. Oh, hey. This is that totally broken, super good item. It's like a wand of clouds, except it just makes clouds around everybody, every enemy. This is probably a good reason to train evocations, although not yet. The fact that it is like one use only, and then you have to recharge it. Well, I don't know. I should probably take evocations to 5, because that could fix my layer 2 problem pretty quickly. In fact, we could go down there right now, look for those guys and see, you know. Unfortunately, with no evo at all, you can get like wispy steam. Not even steam, just like fog. not dangerous clouds to not kill your enemies. There it is. I knew it. That's the risk, man. We auto-explored. Insta-confused. 43%. We do have curing now, so it's not as bad as it might seem, but we could very easily just sort of die to this guy. If we tried to duke it out with him. I suppose we could use the condenser vein. No, I'm just gonna rush him, and we're gonna try to duke it out with him. If it starts to fail, we'll drink curing. But I just need to get a couple of good... There we go. I just needed a couple of good electricities in a row. Yeah, you start... I think around 5 is where you start fairly consistently getting freezing and fire. There is a breakpoint where you literally can't get the harmless ones anymore. And there is a breakpoint where I think you stop getting Mephitic Cloud as well. Alright, I'm going to drop some of this garbage. We're going to drop sling bullets, we're going to drop boomerangs, drop arrows, actually. We'll drop the wacky shortbow freezing because the crossbow is simply better. Ring of positive energy, that's handy. We have an artifact ring and an artifact short sword. I just wish that we had identify or remove curse. Can Disto... I'm trying to remember, did they change Disto to where you can't be sent to the Abyss for taking it off now, or is that not the case? No, you can't be sent to the Abyss when it hits you. Alright, this guy has a +6 dagger of venom, and he has a wand of acid. If we could poly him, that'd be great. And we did. Now, even though that dagger of venom is quite good, I don't think it's worth taking off my hand axe for. Oh, that might be B-Crawl only. I don't know. I thought somebody changed that. Hard to say. What do you guys think about Trump's Twitter being deleted, being suspended? Are you enjoying your big tech overlords that I've been warning you about for years? Hand axe of venom isn't even shilling. Oh, it's not. I gotta fix that. Okay, we have scroll of identify. We could identify scrolls or a potion or anything like that, you know, for consumable purposes, or we could ID the short sword, which very well could be like plus 11 or something, which would be pretty cool. Even though I'm training hand axes, although chances are good it's just a piece of garbage. And I think I would rather go for something that's guaranteed to be valuable. But yeah, the word banishing kind of reminded me of what happened to Trump today. Just sort of unilaterally, no, that's we're just gonna get rid of this guy. We're the oligarchy, and there's a new administration in town, so you know how it is, I guess. It's unfortunate. But the thing that I found interesting about it was they released this big list of justifications, and to my eyes, you know, it's very good probably to avoid people, you know, inciting violence. That's actually against the law. It's good to avoid that. It's good to find ways to make sure that people can't do that. In fact, like I said, you can go to prison for doing that. But it's kind of turned into this thing where it's no longer about stopping people from inciting violence. They also can't glorify violence, which I guess is okay, but then that gets interpreted in very strange ways. You know, like they said that the fact that he said he wasn't going to go to Biden's inauguration somehow meant that he was inciting violence or glorifying violence or something. And it was just the weirdest, you know, series of like wacky, you know, it's like if you read into something super deeply and as uncharitably as possible, you can find an excuse to ban anybody from any platform. And, you know, the funniest thing is maybe I'm just like a narcissist, but it reminded me almost exactly of what the DCSS devs do with people in their community who criticize them too much. It's like it's just like a lefty thing, I think, where it's like they want somebody gone, so they read what they say in as uncharitable as a way as possible, and then they just find an excuse to say, oh, well, this is what this means. This is wrong. This is against the rules. Okay, now they're banned. But I'm telling you, you could do that to anybody. You know, it's kind of interesting. It's one of those things where it's like it makes me wonder why they bother to. I'm talking about specifically the authoritarian left. Believe me, I'm not a huge fan of authoritarian right wing either. It's just they don't really have any power right now. So I'm basically talking about authoritarians. It's just like, again, they're the ones that are, you know, crawling up my ass, making my time online miserable at this exact moment. The minute that the right wing starts doing that again, I'll let you know. You know, who was that one right wing guy who tried to ban video games back in the 90s? I wasn't a big fan of him. Yeah, I don't understand why they even bother coming up with an excuse. Yeah, that guy, he's a douchebag. Perhaps you might call him a grifter even. So yeah, what do we want to identify? You missed Jack. It was a kinder, more innocent era, perhaps, when Jack Thompson was the worst thing that you had to worry about. You know, he was kind of like a rodeo clown, basically. Like, he was not really dangerous in the same way that like a Jack Dorsey or a Mark Zuckerberg is, you know. He didn't have any real power. He just kind of made an ass of himself in court. I'm going to identify the ring just because it could have been really good, and it is really good. It's MR+. Right-wing authoritarians are at least usually just shameless griftmans. Well, that's the thing, is right now our current society does not really allow the authoritarian right to gain any actual power. And so I have nothing to fear from them. Whereas the authoritarian left legitimately has the ability to stop me from transacting online, or stop me from speaking online. Maybe not 100%, but about 95%, you know? Like if Google, Twitter, and Facebook all want you to shut the hell up, I mean, okay, you can have your own website. It's not going to be on Google, you know? Good luck garnering an audience, you know? What about Google and Apple banning Parler? No surprise to me at all. The only surprise to me about that is that it didn't happen sooner. There was a free speech alternative to Twitter years ago that still exists. It's called Gab. And Google and Apple did the same bullshit to them. It's anti-competitive practices that should be considered illegal. They have far too much power. their app stores are such that they specifically, especially Apple, make it very difficult for you to load an app on your phone. It's actually not that bad, I guess, with Android. But most people, if it's not on the marketplace, it's not trusted, so we're not going to do it. But my understanding is I've never owned an iPhone because I have a functioning brain. But if I did, apparently I found out today that without rooting the device, it's apparently really goddamn hard to load anything on there, to sideload anything. Well, that's the thing, is it's like, it's just bizarre to me that you have these people, the modern, I guess you might call them the grift left, who ostensibly, you know, they talk a big game about how they hate corporations, but like every single corporation does lip service for them, and the big tech companies and the financial companies go out of their way to sort of unperson anyone or any service that goes against everything that they want. So it's just like sort of mind-blowing to me that, like, how can you claim to be anti-establishment or anti-corporation when all of these people are doing your bidding? It's really strange to me. With Apple, you have to refresh your certificate and reinstall the app every week. You also have to pay $100. You have to pay $100? Fuck that. See, that kind of thing's awful to me. It's like, I bought this device. Don't stop me from doing what I want with this device. It's one of the reasons why I kind of wrote off Sony after what they did with the PS3, where they were like, yeah, you can put Linux on here. Oh, JK, no, you can't. We're going to release an update that stops you from doing that forever. Even if you sort of root the machine, you still can't do it. We just shut this functionality off somehow. Well, exactly, Road Shenanigans, and it actually, you know, when people don't have a voice, you know, when you can't peacefully voice your opinion, I think that drives people deeper into the underground and actually creates a worse situation for everybody, basically. You only lease the hardware, bro? No, I don't think so. What is it, my passport, which is technically owned by the US government? I'm trying to run this guy out of rocks. Sorry, I'm ranting more than I'm playing DCSS at this point. Let's go up. So we ran him out of rocks. He's actually fairly kitten-like when he doesn't have rocks. Just 35 damage rather than 55. Oh my god, don't get me started on Honey Badger. What's up, by the way? How you doing, buddy? Alright, we have another identify. Let's identify the big boy sword. Wow, it is plus 11. Bro, look at that thing. And I've already started training axes. I mean, it's not an end-game weapon, but that gets you through mid-game.
Fuck you! Fuck you! You fucking no-brain pussy! Fuck you!
That's a good use of rage there, Rogue Shenanigans. Arlek and Arpoise. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's just wild. We're gonna drop this dagger. I won't be able to swap this thing, and it is only a short blade, but it's plus 11. How am I gonna not use that? That was the reason for the sword. Were you? No, we just pivot. We start training evocations. We're not really gonna, like, dive into short blades now. We might dive into long blades, or honestly what's probably gonna happen is I'm just gonna use this short sword until I find a good broad axe. This is not something that I would really want to catch myself using for the rest of the game, but it's going to just brutalize this portion of the game, which is pretty cool. I assume somebody mentioned the fact that I'm continuing the world record streak in the Roguelikes Discord or something, hence the viewers. Just guessing. What do we have, like 30 people, 40 people? Haven't checked. Huh. So there's a ghost in here. I still don't really want to fool with him. This 70 HP. Had 31 for a sec. Yeah, that's, whenever I'm doing the world record streak, I tend to get a whole lot more viewers than usual. Let's pull him up. It's time to do the hell floor of Lair. There are tens of us. Based. 5-headed Hydra, 17 AC, 14 EV, 13 SH. I'm not so sure. Denser vein. Is that lightning or is that just water? That's thunder. I can survive a round or two with him. Look, we took no damage at all. How cool was that? The whole damn floor should be coming for me with this loud-ass cloud. They stay for the tele misuse. They missed all that. Hopefully I can not do that again. Alright, we do have this Wand of Acid, which is another good reason for me to be using the evocations, or training it rather. In fact, I might take that to 8. I could use Tremor Stones again. I'm not a big fan of Tremor Stones because they're less reliable than Scattershot was, but we very well could solve a big problem versus the Spriggan Rider. So let's just see. That's a start. That did quite a bit, actually. Do I dare try to Acid Wand him? Maybe I just... No, I can't swap. I can't swap to the crossbow. Not without draining myself. I'm willing to miss here. Oh, hell yeah. Alright, got him. Alright, the nastiest things on this floor are no longer here to ruin my day. We've taken out the biggest Hydra. We've taken out... There's a pinned message in the Roguelikes Discord server about what a naughty boy you are. Yes, I'm aware of that. It's a whole bunch of fucking lies. Of course, I'm banned from there, so I can't exactly defend myself from them, can I? Pyrol just made up half of that stuff and exaggerated the other half. But that is what these people do, unfortunately. There's a certain class of person who is just very attracted to having petty power on the internet, and it's not really someone you want to be friends with. The Spriggan Rider doesn't look much worse than the Ghost. The Spriggan Rider is more of a glass cannon than the Ghost, because the Spriggan Rider can do, what is it, 20... Can I even look this up? Is this a real monster? Yeah. It can do 27 damage plus whatever weapon it had. It had a quarterstaff, so you're looking at 37 minus 2 is 35 per hit. And they fly right up to you really fast. And I think even if they have quarterstaffs, I think they might attack at range. I could be wrong about that. They usually have spears, though. Hey, we can just tab into Cane Toads based. Formerly Spiny Frogs. Hello! I'm very happy to see the Lightning Rod. I think we can just melee this guy. We are just defensive enough to pull that off. Very good. Probably train a little more defenses, actually. Okay, let's drop some garbage. I can't swap anymore anyway, so let's get rid of the... throwables. Well, not throwables, the crossbow bolts. Okay. Short blades are considered they're in the same school as daggers. A short sword is a short blade. Short blades do not cut off heads. If it was a long blade, it would cut off heads. But I'm basically poking him rather than slashing him. Yeah, also I hacked the game. Cheating. I did consider using the longsword of flaming versus that guy, but not really necessary. Stabby, no slashy, yep. Well, that's interesting. An Oclob plant guarding a box of beasts and a scroll of telly. I would like to do that. By the way, that ring we found is pretty cool. I'm not using it all the time, but I will be swapping to it if I need MR. I'll probably swap to it on a full-time basis once we go back to dungeon. Caught it on stream, debunked your world record. Now, yes, streak by committee. Make sure you tell everyone what a bad streaker I am. Can I just do this? Is this gonna let me do this? Maybe. Haha, 4 is enough. Based. Give me that box. How does this work now? Okay, yeah, it's a unique type item, so they used to stack, now they don't. Now it's just like a rechargeable, which is kind of lame, but it'll work. Technically it's better for this situation, I guess, where I only have the one early. It's better early on now. It's worse later on. if that makes sense. Bro, how many Hydras were on this floor? It was a whole lot. Well, you know, when you find a plus 11 weapon, and you have 17 AC, and then you also find a condenser vein, and a lightning rod, and the tremor stones. I mean, I just kind of did a couple floors of dungeon, and it handed me the exact tools that would made this floor less horrifying. Tremor stones, surprisingly, well, maybe not so surprisingly, was just a solid tool for dealing with a Spriggan rider. One of the best, really, if you think about it, probably one of the best things to deal with them, because they have no AC, and they always, you know, if they have a spear like usual, they stay a tile away from you anyway, so it's not like you're going to hit yourself. Bro, we're strong. We could just melee Death Yaks. You know, this plus 11... This plus 11 thing is also, it's actually plus 15 because of my Ring of Slaying, so I'm potentially doing an extra 15 damage every time I swing. Up to 15 damage. And my accuracy is huge. They only have a 14% chance to evade, which is very low, believe it or not. In Crawl, usually you're looking at like a, you know, 50% miss chance or 40% or something crazy. Crawl's melee is notorious for like making you wait through a lot of missed swings. Yeah, this is a stacked lair character. And the cool thing about that is that because I'm powerful now, I'm stacking gold, which means I can go get shops later if I feel like it, or right now if I felt like it. Well, Death Yaks are a funny check for players who are new to the game, especially because it's like they're very they just have a big pile of HP, basically, and a big pile of damage. And so if you've been sort of sliding by on a character that is more or less able to attack things and win, and then you run into them, suddenly it's kind of like running into an ogre in the early game, or a two-headed ogre. You've got this big beefy thing. It's actually more dangerous than a two-headed ogre in some ways, because it's they're just beefy enough that if you try to simply tab into them, their damage is, you know, while 30 damage is not like the 100 or whatever that a two-headed ogre can do, it adds up very quickly and it breaks through most AC. So if you're just like tabbing into them, you'll find that the fight takes longer than yeah, they're ogres that can't be MRC'd. I love Death Yaks because it's like an interesting little puzzle almost, in a sense. You know, I see them as free experience on most characters, but it can get a little tedious, I suppose, to take them out. The sword's quite good. It is quite good. It's not going to work in endgame, but it's going to work very well right now. Normally I'd be terrified of a Mamba, but this character is a pimp. Big boss pimp. Nice. A little bit of rote stair dancing there. Nothing to really say about it. I probably shouldn't be, you know, hammering down the tab key though, because anything could happen here. I could swap to MR, but we can just beat that guy. He's on his own. Okay, we're going to identify... I'm not going to bother with the amulet. We're just going to identify those mutations, I guess. We'll wear the amulet. That is an amulet of the acrobat, which is strictly better than magic regen because we aren't using our magic for anything. I don't think, so. I don't really foresee myself getting a whole lot of value out of acrobat, but it's, whatever. If I have to walk towards a guy shooting arrows at me, it's definitely going to be good. Alright, watch me fly through lair now with this new and improved kit. Got shoved off the staircase, tried to lure that guy up. Can't shove me when they're on either side of me, though. I have Wands of Flame now. The coolest thing about once you hit your stride on a DCSS character is you just start collecting stuff. Like, I didn't even know that I had extra acid or flame. But once your character really, really hits a stride, you can just kind of start doing stuff, you know, without even paying attention to what you're picking up. And then, oh, hey, I have all these tools now. All right, Anani Badger, thanks for stopping by the stream, man. I appreciate it. That lightning rod will recharge. Why don't we take Evo to 10? And in fact, screw it. Let's just take our defenses to 10 too. Any broad axes yet? Nope. Any artifacts I've missed? Nope. Fairly lucky on the loot, I have to say, although we paid for this. We paid for this because for almost the entire early game, we had no remove curse, which is somewhat comical. Whoa! Just one-shotted that Hydra with Tremor Stones. Based. We'll deal with the Claw up here in a minute. There's a broad axe. I thought the Hydra would get out in front. Is that 5 heads? Let's, screw it. I'll condenser. That's fine. I still don't feel like super duper mega confident about fighting Hydras with more than 4 heads. The character certainly can do it, and it can even do it with a good amount of consistency, but I'd put my chances at meleeing a 5-headed Hydra at like probably 85% without having to use resources or run away. Well, the broad axe is, it's a good base, is what it is. We will potentially turn this thing into the weapon of mastery, you know? I have a complaint about cane toads, which is that while the name has been changed from Spiny Frog, I still see spinies on them. I demand a tile change. Okay, that's just too many Oclobs. Even if I come at it from the top, that's just super lame. Maybe I'll come at it from the top with Condenser Vein here in a bit. Oh, yeah, there's way too many. Screw this. They're tiny canes, like cane sugar. You can actually pick the sugar right off the toads. That'd be kind of cool. Couldn't manage a tile change for their pet race that was worth removing a race for. Cane frogs can fuck off. I see. Let's drop Ring of Ice. I already have RC all the time. Same is true of Poison Resist, I guess, but I'm more likely to swap off the short sword than the Kriya's mail coat. Probably not going to finish this game tonight, by the way. I mean, maybe. I was thinking about just like stopping the stream at the end of Lair, getting some food, and maybe coming back. Wow, hello, Eye of Devastation, with your big-ass damage. I've completely forgotten about my racial ability. That would have been handy there, I suppose. I find it funny that you can just keep doing this. Like, there's no cooldown whatsoever. Oh, the other reason, I forgot to mention, the other reason I'm able to fight Hydras and not have a huge problem is I actually have 7 more AC than it looks like I have, because due to my racial ability, every time I get hit, my AC goes up by 7. Non-stacking, of course. And 26 AC is pretty goddamn solid. See, it's still not quite guaranteed. It could have gone badly there. I really probably wouldn't want to do 7 heads. I suppose I could try. Fortunately, we haven't seen any Hydras that big. I think we may have seen one, and I used range to kill it. Okay, once Convincer Vein is no longer inert, we will probably go for those Oclops like I was thinking, but until then, Let's go into slime. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Okay. Ice cave. Wave of frost passes over me. And a dream sheep. Well, that did not kill the dream sheep. The meme sheep. Yes, indeed. I really don't want to be put to sleep. However, if I just do this, I can't see the torpor snail. And apparently what I can't see cannot hurt me. Oh, I fell asleep. Shit. Ah, fucking... Oh, that's bad. I messed up bad. We don't have blink. Yeah, I messed up really bad. I thought I was keeping them outside of my line of sight more than one. Yeah, no, sleep isn't affected by MR. This is horrid, actually. Don't have blink. Fear will work on everything but the Hydras. The Hydras will probably not be affected, and one of those is 7 heads, and these guys are faster. And I'll still be slow. Fear is probably the right choice. I could AA, but we could just be put to sleep again. I have to fear. Okay, we feared the Hydras. That was horrifying. I shouldn't have done that. Basically. Jesus Christ, that could have been a game loss right there. Well, probably not, actually. Would have been safer with Telly. What the fuck? So we got Tellied as soon as we came down. And then jumped into this end vault. Yeah, we came down over here. And Ebering's horseshit telly traps sent me here. It's probably going to be another fear, and then we use a digging. I could telly, but I don't want to screw with this situation. This is garbage, man. Okay, we haste. We dig. And we get this horse shit under control. Yeah, we get this horse shit under control, basically. I neglected to really pay attention to the fact that this is layer 6. Yeah, it's a really bad change. But man, that telly was ugly. It teleported us into the back of a particularly nasty vault that you don't want to be in the back of. Okay. It could be a nice rapier. We don't know, and we're not going to wear it because it could be disto. Okay, we have haste. That was our last haste. Looks like maybe we found another one, I guess. I do have the money for many, many, many potion petitions, so this is not as bad as it looks. It's just pretty bad. The game finally punished me for stair dancing, B-crawl style, actually. Because in B-crawl that could have happened, but, you know, would have been because of the staircase, not the random telly. I'm no longer going to meme myself into trying to make it to the ice cave, wherever it may be. I mean, I will magic map, because actually I should have done that before, just to see exactly what I'm working with here. Ice cave is all the way down here, so we're probably just going to ignore the existence of that place as we clear out this increasingly horrid floor. Yeah. This was just like, this was the worst staircase for us to go down. I tell you where my primary mistake this floor was. When I came down and I saw a single dream sheep, I should have just like waggled my feet right back up that staircase and rolled down here. I mean, I still would have gotten teleported over here because of RNG, but yeah, Gozag's happy about the money. should be able to melee this guy, even if he paralyzes me. He's by himself. Of course, when there's... Jesus Christ. I don't want to do that. When there's a... Yeah, that's just the vault. I was just hoping that we would be able to pull those guys without the tyrant leeches or vice versa. Or, you know, without the tyrant leeches, snails, and hornets. The fact that we have, like, no hex wands is really unpleasant. We have polymorph, but you really don't want to use polymorph. How does anybody know Condenser Vene's behavior when you're right next to the enemy? Will it not put clouds on your head, or will it? Because if I get paralyzed with clouds on my head, that's quite bad. We've made a beast to help us out. We shouldn't die here. But as usual, the tooltips in DCSS are just not good. There is no mention of whether it dumps them on you or not. Shummy! Hey, what's up, buddy? Shummy's on my tournament team. Thank you for the heads up. Will it dump you on your allies? Will it dump clouds on your allies, do you know? Doesn't really matter. Yes, it will. It will dump on your allies. It will not dump on you. But your allies don't get pissed about that. How much to make me drink attraction right now? There is no amount of, well, I guess there is an amount of money, but there's no amount of money you'd be willing to pay that would make me want to drink attraction at this moment. Nice try, though. If you give me 1 Bitcoin, 17 Bitcoin, that's just excessive. You know, Bitcoin's worth $40,000 right now. At least that was the last time I checked. Could have crashed or crashed upwards by the time, by now. I should put a Bitcoin command in here so you can check the price right in the chat. It's a fire dragon. We can probably melee a fire dragon. I think I'm going to wait until the rest of the floor is clear, though. Okay, this bullshit vault is right out here. Crashed upwards. I mean, that's what it does, man. It's the one asset that just dumps in the opposite direction that you would expect. Not always, of course, and this is not financial advice, as they say. So yeah, one of those guys by himself cannot do much to you. It's something like a 1 in 29 chance of being slept. But as soon as there are 2 of them on the screen, you might as well just start counting some sheep, because you're going to be taking a nap, probably. Which is why you really want to make sure that there's only 1 on the screen, at most, at any given time. It's not to say you can't be put to sleep with only 1. You bought in at 1/10 of a penny. One of your penny stocks went from 4/10 of a penny to 2 pennies over the last few days. Well, that's a big percentage. I wonder how much you put in. What am I naming my... What is he naming his yacht? Yeah, that's a good question. So you notice how I'm not troubling myself too much about this ice cave? I mean, I'd love to go into that ice cave, but getting bim bam boomed by everything in between me and the ice cave is just not worth me making a mad dash down there. We probably could have done it, and we maybe even could have done it without getting murdered by various lair beasts, but I gotta tell you, on a world record streak, not worth it. not worth whatever bullshit is in that ice cave. Hey, that's a good name. It's a good name for a yacht. I need more people to buy my fantasy novel before I can afford my yacht. Second book, by the way. The sequel is being edited now. I think I did a better job on this one. Kind of a live and learn kind of thing. There's a lot of stuff you don't realize when you write your first novel, you know? Yeah, I know, right? Big surprise. Radical concept. You know, it really is, though. There are people who will do stuff, and they will just be shitty at it, and then they will just sort of, instead of bothering to get better, which is a hard process and a humbling process, they will just kind of keep doing the same thing forever and wonder why nothing is changing. Yeah, Mr. A-headed Hydra, he had to be trimmer stoned. This is some slow luring, but... did they buff tremor stones? I just have really good evocations. I have almost 10. Dang. I think I can melee this guy. Come on, 27 AC. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I die when that timer goes to 0. Because food is gone, and they've just decided to institute this thing that just kills you when it ticks down. You get more added to the timer every floor you go down in a branch, which is pretty obnoxious in branches like Lair, because I just have a limited amount of time in here. There's no way to make it go up indefinitely. You only get like 6,000 turns, I guess, for each floor you go down, I believe. But there's no more floors in Lair, so this is, I will only ever have 25,000 more turns in Lair forever. So I guess don't stare dance too much in here. You might get dabbed on. You might be finna get dabbed on. Abyss farming actually still works, believe it or not. That's the strangest thing. They didn't bother to change that. Don't ask me why. I'm burning resources because I'm terrified of being put to sleep next to a Hydra. But yeah, Abyss farming, there's no Zot timer there. You would think that they would have done that differently. I know, isn't that funny, Rogue Shenanigans? That was my exact thought on the matter. Oh, we're getting owned in the melee here. There we go. Catoblepuses are no joke, and you have to fight them so carefully, because if you fat finger the keyboard even one time, oh boy, they do 36 damage. Being petrified next to them is not a fun time. Well, it's not just that, Rogue Shenanigans. They didn't really seem to think about the consequences, because immediately after they made this change, which they just kind of threw in like a clumsy janitor stumbling onto the stage during a production play and like spilling his mop and bucket everywhere, what happened is some guy immediately started streaking Zom games, and he got like 13 Zom games in a row, because without food below a certain level, you could safely just sit around on like D1 and wait for gifts. And so there was a time when they took out they didn't have a Zot clock at all, and they just took out food. They're like, I wonder what'll happen. We can't predict this. And then once that guy started doing that, they kind of clumsily threw in the Zot clock because they realized they couldn't just take out food and have there not be like a whole lot of consequences. We just found Book of Changes, which now has this wacky Wereblood spell, which, if I remember correctly, is pretty much just Song of Slaying. I have no idea why they refluffed this. I thought Song of Slaying was pretty cool fluff as it is. I guess because they wanted it to be a transmutation spell, and they wanted to take out charms. Comically, we could be a transmuter now, I suppose, with blade hands, but I don't think we're doing that today with Kriya's mail coat. Maybe. Probably not. I found statue form, perhaps. Found the dog vault. Dog and bear vault, I suppose. We're gonna find electric dogs in here, but no big deal. This crazy Sword of the Ages I have is it's conveniently giving me Aralek. meleeing an 8-headed Hydra. I think I can do it. Yeah, I got a good hit there. 0.27 will finally remove transmutations. Oh no. Guess that's one way to balance it. You'd think they would remove summons first. Or necromancy. Okay, I'm considering condenser veining, but I don't have to. I see a big pile of enemies, and you want to use some kind of quasi-consumable on them because it just looks like a lot, but I'm eyeballing it, and I know I can just melee this crap one at a time. Remove features, add armadillo. Armadilla. Our men and our women. Well, that's true creativity. If you just put an armadillo man into the game, you know, how can anybody call you a hack? The armadillo man is the true final last stand of the gentleman's developer. Yeah, see, ordinarily these lightning dogs would be kind of a spooky proposition. It's only like 10 extra electric damage from their attacks on top of the 11, but 2d14 from the blink bolt. But with Arlek, it's significantly reduced. It's still pretty goddamn annoying, I have to say, outside of a kill hole, because they zap back and forth, as you could see. Armadillo person. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not being sensitive enough. My eternal apologies. I'll submit myself to a re-education camp right now. And to sensitivity training, of course. I'll ask Jack Dorsey to ban me off of Twitter. I'll read the Communist Manifesto 20 times a day. Armadillo fursona. Wouldn't that be like a scaly sona? I hate the fact that I'm familiar enough with this to be able to make that comment. Hey, hey man, that's not accurate. That's not Okay, this is a few more guys than I'd be comfortable fighting, I guess, except for the fact that we've got the Cataplepus over here just helping me out. Shells? Yeah, I guess it's not scales. Is there really a significant difference between a scale and a shell? When it comes down to it, isn't it essentially made of the same stuff? I guess I don't know. God, we're doing so well. I'm just gonna keep training defenses. The rule of thumb for me is if my character is killing stuff and he isn't gonna have a problem killing stuff in the near future, he just trains defenses. That is my general rule. And it serves me pretty well. Do we have any identify? Haven't picked up identify. Alright, let's not be too explicit. I don't really know what the rule is on Twitch. I don't think that breaks it, but Jesus. Don't want to think about that, actually. If we were on Discord, we'd already be banned for daring to say something that's not 100% positive about that, I guess. I do sometimes wonder what leads a person to, I don't know. It's just weird. You can't like, I'm not making fun of anyone because you apparently are not allowed to mock anyone about anything that they're doing. Because if you do, no matter how strange it might seem to your average person, if you do, then you're like, I guess you're considered evil in the year of our Lord, 2021. Finish your sentence, coward. We dropped polymorph. I probably shouldn't. Actually, I should drop random effects before I drop polymorph. Hey, Eversare. You're leaving right before the end anyway. I'm just going to finish this floor and then call it a night myself, my friend. But I do appreciate you coming by the stream, man. Oh, okay. We're just mopping up these dirty lair people. That was a pretty sweet tremor stones there. Took out 3 boggarts at the same time. Alright, let's pop on, bring up Profire, and see if we can melee this guy to death. He's a big boy. There we go, but we did it. Current topic has him worked up. Ah, yes. Yes, I'm just getting a little too excited. I have to relieve some stress, you know. Wink, wink. Isn't that hilarious? Well, we've seen... Actually, we have 2 remove curse in the inventory now, so technically we've seen 4 now. But, yeah. It's 4 or 5, I think. It's still a very low number. I'm just amazed it took us so long to find our first one is the biggest thing, because the first one is the real hurdle. Oh, that's Guardian Spirit. I would like to have Guardian Spirit more than I'd like to have Acrobat. Could you imagine if I went Ashen Zari? I still think it would be worth it to avoid traps, but, you know, getting shafted or whatever is very unpleasant, and the fact that Ash just turns that off is very, very good. Anyway, yeah, I do like to, if I remember correctly, I like to talk a little bit about my plans before I sign out of these games. This guy is almost certainly going to be a Broadaxe guy. Yeah, I don't know, Rogue Shenanigans. We've been... Okay, here's another really dumbass change to 0.26. Training evocations no longer gives you magic points, so they've basically made Guardian Spirit significantly less good on most characters that want to wear it. Which is kind of... I don't know, it irritates me quite a bit because... you know, generally casters don't want to wear Guardian Spirit unless they need it to survive, especially people who are using their mana as a panic button, like through Zen or something, because when you're in the position where it's like, oh my god, I'm about to die, I have no mana, I can't use my mana to escape. Right, exactly. I would use Guardian Spirit on like a Spriggan caster or something, just because there's so much shit in the game that can one-shot me otherwise, but I would be looking for ways to take it off by about mid-game, probably. Or maybe like the beginning of end game, and I would not feel good about wearing it. It would just be kind of like a dire necessity, you know. But yeah, I guess it would be good for Nulls. Pretty good for Felids too, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, this character is going to train axes. He's probably going to train defenses for a little while longer. I have MR, but not enough. It says willpower, but it's actually MR. They just changed the name. If I look at Orc Sorcerers, I see that even with that MR ring, 16% chance to paralyze, so I'd rather not do Orc right now. It looks like we have shoals and spiders, so we're not going to be seeing the new swamp this time, which is kind of interesting. I was looking forward to at least taking a look at it and taking a dump on what I have read about but not experienced. Apparently there are some paralyzed threats in there, so that'll be interesting. Anyway, maybe next game. With that said, I do hope you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I gotta turn this guy off. He's just a bald dude, you know. Nothing bad, but I don't know why I have him on my, I put him there as a joke, basically, and I keep accidentally clicking him when I end streams. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed the stream. But until next time, I am signing out. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help support this channel? Read about them on rosecrypto.com/support. At Rose Crypto, you can learn all about cool things like the Brave web browser, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.